And he said, the good news is you've got a very big promotion. I said, "Right." He said, the bad news is there's only about 10 of us left at the firm. The guys were doing insider trading and things, and not when my department. I'm M&A, so I didn't really get involved in that. But
Mhm.
after that, it was pretty clear that we were going to have to do other things. So I went to Credit Suisse, and my wife and I were at a cocktail party, and a
Mhm.
gentleman asked me what I did, and I was telling him. He says he's in the restaurant business, and he had the franchise rights for Applebee's from Washington D.C. to the Mississippi River and right down to the Gulf of Mexico. So 25% of the United States.
Okay.
Now, in the early '90s, Applebee's was non-existent in New York. So I went down to Virginia to meet him and was sitting there, and I said, this is okay. He said, you would never come to this restaurant, would you? I said, no. He says, but 90% of the country would. You live in New York City. This is not a New York City restaurant. You're used to going to different types of places, you and your wife. I said, yes. He says, well, anyway. So I brought it back to my bosses at Credit Suisse, and they didn't want to do it. And they said, you can use our broker dealer license, but you can use your own network of people. We're not going to put any money into it, but you have our blessing. We raised $15 million for them. About 3 months later, and this is back in the early '90s when Wall Street
Mhm.
was a very different place. And
Mhm.
they call me in on a Friday afternoon, and my wife is there, and everybody's there, all the firm, and ice sculptures and caviar and waiters, and they're all excited. They said, Dominic did a great job. We made $3.2 million in fees, all because of his efforts and only his efforts. And they handed me an envelope. Now, I'm thinking this is going to be quite a payday. It was $100,000.
Mm.
So I looked at it, I put it back in the envelope, and I handed it back to my boss. And I said, you should have put it in the glove compartment of the Lamborghini you bought me, but you didn't.